Good to be with you. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to episode 245 of the Dream Wager, February 13th, 2023. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock, and I'm joined by my co-host, our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. How you doing, kid?
I'm doing good, Dylan. Had a long day, long
Yeah.
shift today, but we're feeling good. Coming off a tremendous Super Bowl. Let's talk about it, Dylan.
Yeah, tremendous Super Bowl. And I've always said this from, when we started watching football religiously, I always felt like the day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday. Am I correct?
Absolutely, Dylan. Because think about it. I'm going to say at least 40, 30 million Americans see the game.
Yeah.
Come on now. Everybody's getting home. Maybe the people not maybe on the other side, on the West Coast because they see the game early. But for people like us, we're not getting home to 11, 12,
Yeah,
you know?
easy. And then, some people are drinking. So,
Some.
I tried to put on the shorter end of the stick, but 113 million viewers. This is the most watched Super Bowl in 6 years. That's kind of crazy, but you know what had more views? The halftime performance, Rihanna. 118 million people tuned in just for the halftime performance, which, me and you had different opinion on, which I watched back. I think she lip sang most of the songs. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of disappointed. Yesterday, I was happy.
Dill, this is what I came to realize. You know me. I'm a big Rihanna fan. I sing her songs all the time. But it wasn't she performed great, but it wasn't a show. We've seen in recent Super Bowls, special guests, collaborations. She wasn't really dancing, but it comes out, Dylan. She's pregnant, so what?
So we give her a pass.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a pass, but that wasn't the most exciting, or how I didn't. I expected a better show. I was a little let down, but it's okay. The girl's pregnant. You can see she's easy 5, maybe 6 months. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not sure, but it looks pretty deep in the. Yeah, it's pretty deep in it. So, congrats to her, ASAP Rocky. She's pregnant, so I think she did a hell of a show for a pregnant woman.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think. Well, shout out them having another kid. And when she started performing, I said, she's not doing like dancing and breaking down like she always does. And I was like, oh, I see a bump.
That's why I was shocked when you called me, Dylan. And I was like, I was so thrown off. Like,
I think I was so thrown back by how many hits she was performing.
No, the music, that's not the question. It's I'm questioning the performance. Even the people I was with, some girls there, big Rihanna fans, they were like, that was kind of whack, and then later on, like after maybe like 2-3 songs left, they realized, oh, she's pregnant, so they started going crazy. So it wasn't about the performance, it was about the pregnancy.
Yeah. And you mentioned a good point. Everyone, most of the years they bring in at least one special guest, and she had one of the Jay-Z songs. Jay-Z was in the building, but then there was a Kanye song, and I was like, oh, maybe it's Kanye's big break, he's coming back. That didn't happen. Then there was a Drake one. I was like, chill, Drizzy's here. And then there's nothing. Even bring out your man. Bring out ASAP for a song or two.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Dill. It was just, blam. But hey, she's pregnant. Still a great performance.
Yeah, 100%. Great performance. And I think she's better than Rihanna. That's my quote.
That is Rihanna.
No, better than Beyonce, I would say.
To me, I like Rihanna's music a little more than Beyonce's. But for performer...
Oh, performance, I hear Beyonce's crazy.
Beyonce's one of the greatest performances of our time, Dill.
All right, Elvis, let's get into it. Super Bowl 57. I hate to be the guy that said, I told you so. We're going to come here Monday morning. We're going to say, how did we bet against the Chiefs? Thankfully, I didn't. Went 12-6 with all my plays. I took the Chiefs +2.5. I took them +1.5, +2 money line a few times. Just an amazing game from Patrick Mahomes. I thought it was a great game throughout. Such high-level football played on both sides, back and forth the whole game. I thought it was great coaching from both sides. But the difference in the game was the Eagles' defense, in my opinion, not the officiating. We'll get into that in a sec, but they went missing for how good everyone was hyping them up all season, rightfully so. They went really MIA. The Chiefs had an amazing game plan, and I think their offensive line was the biggest difference. You go back a few years when Brady and the Bucs beat them. that was their big problem, giving up all their sacks. They cleaned it up, and I bet they were tired of hearing how good the Eagles front four was because they didn't give up a sack. And when you give the best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, that much time to read the defense, he's going to pick you apart. And I think that's what he did. He made some big time runs. And, going into halftime, we were kind of scared because we were like, we aggravated that ankle. We didn't know how he was going to handle things, but he comes back, and Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid just put on a second half performance for the ages. They did not miss. They scored on every possession, and they basically did what the Eagles did to the Chiefs the first time. They kept them off the field and didn't give them a chance to win a game. So all around, I thought it was an amazing job and an amazing turnaround in the second half for the Chiefs. I really thought they came out the gate swinging, and I thought it was important they opened up the second half with a touchdown, which is exactly what they do. So what'd you make of the game, and what'd you make of the scheme and game plan that the Chiefs had for the Eagles defense?
Dill, tremendous game. I think one of the best Super Bowls of all time. Let's just be real, Dill. I was shocked. No, I'm going to say surprised how good Patrick Mahomes looked against that defense. Still, that front four was a no-show. That offensive line is officially the best offensive line in football. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's the number one passing offensive line in the league. Maybe not running block, not rush block, but that's the number one pass block offense in the league. Dill.
Yeah.
What a show by the offensive line. In first of all, that was the number one sack team in the league. Dill.
Yeah.
The Eagles,
and they got none.
And they're second all time behind the 85 Bears.
Would they get 70 sacks this season?
I think it was 72. The record is 75. I think they got 72, 73. So they got the second most sacks in NFL history. They didn't touch Mahomes once. But that's how they won the game. Still, I know Patrick Mahomes didn't have the huge numbers. We didn't see him throw for 300 yards. Still, I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, Patrick Mahomes didn't have a big game. Patrick Mahomes had a great game. Still, in that second half, he went 12 for 13.
Yeah. And
like you said, he scored in they got the ball 4 times, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
That was damn near perfect, Dill. On a bad ankle. We saw he re-aggravated late in the second half. And I don't know what they did at half.
They shot him up. They had to do
I don't
something.
know what they did at half, but that man walked out of there like it's week 10.
Yeah.
That's how he looked. He went 12 for 13, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, and the game-winning field goal.
And
that big run, Dill.
Yes.
That was like a 30-35 yarder.
And he wasn't running like he was hobbling. He was sprinting.
He knew that was for the Super Bowl, Dill.
Yeah.
He knew that was for the Super Bowl, Dill. So, give credit. And another thing, Dill. Give Andy Reid credit and Eric Bieniemy for calling these plays. Because I know Andy probably draws them up, but Eric Bieniemy calls them when it's time. So, I want to go to those 2 goal line touchdowns, Dill. They were just wide open. One went left, one to the right. 24, I believe his name is Moore. He walks right in, Dill. And then the third touchdown, Tony just walks right in.
Sky Moore.
Yeah, number 24.
Yeah.
He just walks right in. And then Tony walks right in. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes didn't have a huge day. I think his longest completion was 22 yards.
I think it was the first pass to Kelsey or something.
That was 18.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember where the 22. I think it was to Juju, if I'm not mistaken, Dill.
He woke up in the second half.
He had a huge second half, Dill. And Dill, like I said, Patrick Mahomes didn't put those huge numbers up. But in my opinion, that was one of the most perfect. He went 21 for 27, 183, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks. Another reason why it's impressive, in the 2 previous Super Bowls, Patrick Mahomes' touchdown to interception ratio was 2-4. Remember, he threw 2 late against the 49ers, and he threw, that was just a tough sailing against Tampa Bay. You couldn't. He was Superman that day. You couldn't play a better game with that offensive lineman. No, but it was 2-4, and now he goes 3-0, Dill. And real quick before I turn it back to you, I want to give Jalen Hurts his flowers, just because, Dill, that was one of the best games. I did not expect him to have that good of a game, Dill. I think you will even admit, with that performance, he deserved to win the Super Bowl and the MVP, Dill. I wouldn't be mad, to be real. I wouldn't be mad because this who'll be the second player in NFL history to win it. The losing team win the MVP award.
Who was the other one?
It was back in the day. I think it was a Dallas Cowboy. I forgot his name, but still, with that performance, would have been mad if Jalen Hurts would have been rewarded the MVP? Because he was tremendous, and I think he was perfect with his throws. I don't know how great his shoulder was, Dill, but one pass that changed the game to me was when he hit Quez Watkins right in the hands and he dropped it. Remember that ball? He would have caught that ball. They're at the 5-yard line. So instead of getting 3 points in that possession, they get 7. Still, I think and Jalen, that was a dime. Quez Watson, you got to make that catch. I'm not gonna put the blame on you, but you got to make that catch. This is a Super Bowl, so I want to give Jalen Hurts his flowers. He did it with his arm, and we know he could do it with his legs, but he impressed me with the arm deal. And then he dropped a few balls down the chimney. And Quez Watkins, hey, you got to come down with that ball.
Yeah, you touch on a lot of things. I'll start with Jalen Hurts. One thing we could come out and, he took such a mature stance. He goes, hey, how do you feel about losing? And, losing the biggest game of your career, you could kind of take like a Cam Newton stance sometimes and be kind of, I wouldn't say ignorant, but kind of emotional and not want to answer the media. But he says,
real quick, Cam Newton also had a concussion after the Super Bowl, though. Let's just be real. We both know he was concussed after that Broncos beatdown.
Regardless, some people answer kind of moody towards the media after especially the toughest loss of your career up to date. So, he goes, hey, this is a lesson. We're going to get better. And one thing I got out of Jalen Hurts' performance, he is him. He is a franchise quarterback. He's going to get paid millions.
He's a top 10 quarterback already.
100%. I mean, he threw for over 300 yards. And I was over here talking with CT and you last pod about, if they got to throw a lot, they're not going to be successful. They came out of the gun throwing. And you said that one ball towards the middle, late in the game where Andy Reid challenged that throw on the other side of the hash mark for Dallas Goedert. What a ball that was.
Still, that was the ball. That was the throw of the game.
I was looking at it like, I don't know if Patrick Mahomes could make that throw. I was looking at it like, I am very impressed. He stood in the pocket, and instead of running, which we all know he could run. He doesn't have to prove that to anyone. He sat there and hit Dallas Goedert on the other side of the field perfectly. I said that was the best ball of the night. Yeah, he hit A.J. Brown and he hit Devontae Smith a couple yards.
But that was a bad.
They were wide open. Yeah,
that was a bad read by the DB on the first, the second touchdown of the game to A.J.
He went in when the guy stayed out.
And Devontae, that should have been a touchdown. He kind of lost his. Yeah, he fell out. Hey, Jalen got in.
What a game, though, from Devontae Smith. I think he is developing into his number one. Maybe it's the Alabama connection, but you know what? He deserved to win that. If the Eagles won the game, he was winning MVP. That's no doubt. Yeah. He rushed for 70 yards. Great call on Kenneth Gainwell as well. The guy, they couldn't guard him.
Smith, Gainwell, both hit. I know those are my most confident plays of the weekend.
And how good are the Eagles and Jalen Hurts in the quarterback sneak? They might be better than Brady. They did it how many times? 5 times?
5 times on. They did it on a third and
on a 3rd and 1.
No, they did it on like a 3rd and 3, and then got in.
Look at the separation that offensive line was getting. He didn't even need to do anything at a certain point. Chris Jones was like, "Fuck this! I'm not going low. I'm going over top,"
and he still got it
because he fucking squats 700 pounds. This man's a beast.
So he's carrying 2 defenders off the rim past the line of scrimmage.
But yeah.
Oh, another shocker, Dill. What was you confident when I told you Patty Mahomes under 292.5?
No.
Yeah,
no.
A lot of people was like, "You're." A lot of people called me stupid. I said, "All right."
Yeah, no, I like the play. I told you I thought they were going to establish the run game, which Isaiah Pacheco, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's a problem. I just knew the only reason he wasn't going to go over just because I knew the Eagles was going to dominate the time and possession, which they did.
Yeah, which they did, especially in the first half. They literally. I think
Patty Mahomes had 87
for 4 minutes in the second quarter.
Patty Mahomes only had 87 passing yards in the first half. That's what I knew. I was like, yeah.
They rushed the ball well. McKinnon had a pretty underrated game, catching some balls out of the backfield, running some balls.
Hey, give McKinnon a fucking shout out, Dill. he made one of the plays of the game. He slid down at the 1 yard line. There he goes in the
Yeah.
touchdown.
He almost wanted to go in.
I know he goes in the end zone with what 140 ish left, 130. Hey, Eagles have 1:30 with 2 timeouts to tie the game. Hey, instead of going in, he slides, ices the game.
Yeah, and I guess we could talk about it fast forwarding all the way to the thing. So, say he does go in, right? They got 1:30, 1:40 left. I think that's what leaves such a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth is because, Philly, they didn't get a chance to at least attempt to tie it or win the game.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. Let's just be real. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. You know my opinion on it. I personally don't think that was a flag call. I didn't see him destruct his motion. I saw a slight jersey pull. That's all I saw. I didn't see him stop his route. I didn't see him move him off his feet, off his motion. Juju was going on a wheel route anyway. That was his motion, and he didn't deprive them of his position, Bill. That wasn't a penalty.
And, you know how I feel. It definitely was a penalty. He even admitted he grabbed him. He fouled him twice. He fouled him twice. He grabbed his shirt once, and then he got the right arm around him. Whether it's for a second or a split second, he committed the act. He did stop him. Whether the ball was over his head or uncatchable, that's regardless. He prevented him from actually being able to run his route. The guy even admitted it. And I actually give the officiators credit for throwing it. You know why? Because it was such a clean game, and you could have called that penalty maybe the whole game. It was going on the whole game. And they did a good job up until that point, not throwing the flags, determining the game.
As a fan, Dill, where because I got nothing in it. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, me either.
As a fan, I was disappointed with the outcome because it was such a legendary game. It was the best game of the season. One of the greatest Super Bowls I ever seen. It might be my second favorite Super Bowl of all time. And the fact that it ended like that, I'm like, I was disappointed as a fan. Like I like all seriousness, I honestly thought the Chiefs was gonna win the game anyway. But let the Chiefs kick the field goal. Well, it was 3rd and 8. Incompletion. That's an incompletion. They kicked the field goal. Now there's 1:43 left. Eagles 2 timeouts. March down the field 75 yards. Could the Chiefs get a stop, or the Eagles could go win the game or tie the game? I wanted to see that, and the refs deprived me of that. Not just me, millions of others still. And I know you feel the same way. I understand the Chiefs won. You had the Chiefs, but that's some sucker shit that we saw. Though, be honest. Let's just be real.
I mean, it leaves I think you're right in the fact that it leaves a bad taste in your mouth because up until that point, it was such high level football to what you were saying. Yeah, it was definitely the best game. Besides maybe that Minnesota Buffalo game, that was the best game of the season. Obviously, rightfully so, it was the Super Bowl. But letter of the law, and yeah, I did have the Chiefs and it helped me out, but I did think it was a penalty. I did, and
yeah. Still, if
he admitted to it,
I understand
he did.
that.
And I'm glad they actually not interviewed, but they questioned the head ref, Carl Chafers or whatever, and they kind of pressed them on it. They said that late in the game,
it was a bad call. It was a bad call.
I mean, can you really say it was a bad call if the guy committed the foul? I could understand if it was not a foul. Then it's like, you kind of threw the flag, got a call. It's like the Saints and Rams. That was a bad call. Yeah. That wasn't it. That was this guy call. Actually. That would be different. This guy actually committed it. And he said, hey, I give actually Burberry credit or whatever the corner's name was. Cause he said, hey, I pulled on his jersey. I tugged him. I thought I was going to get away with it.
Yeah, because it wasn't major.
Regardless if it was major or not, it's a foul.
Still, if Sauce Gardner gets that call in the Super Bowl, what's your opinion?
It sucks, but it's a foul. It sucks. I would be. It is though. If someone grabs your jersey, it's not a foul.
Still, I see that all the time.
I know, but
I see it all the time. Like you said, you saw it all game and it didn't get called. That was getting called on the 3rd and 8 with a minute 40 left.
It was that decisive where the guy had a perfect view of it and he said, I'm throwing the flag. There's nothing we could do. And the game didn't come down to that.
It did.
So for all the Eagle fans and just fans, no, it didn't. Because they had multiple chances to win the game, and I understand,
but it did come down to that because they basically iced the clock. If it's just 4th down, they kick the field goal. Eagles got a minute something with 2 timeouts.
So why didn't the Eagles stop them multiple times in that drive? They couldn't. That's my thing. They could have done.
No, but they did.
No, they didn't.
They
committed a foul.
I know. If the flag is not thrown, which you just said, it been happening all game. They haven't thrown all game. They threw it now.
No, not that. I said penalties in general were happening. Holdings.
Yeah, my point exactly. You just admitted penalties been happening all game that weren't called. That penalty was called. I think it was a bad call.
He decided that. That's not up to us. He's the official. He decided that was
exactly. He decided the game. That's my point.
He decided one play.
Yeah, that was the game.
The one play doesn't decide it. It doesn't.
I understand what you're
saying. You sound like a salty Eagles fan, and you're not even an Eagle fan. I'm
not, Dill. I'm a football fan, Dill. What I wanted to see, I wanted the Eagles to have a chance to tie it.
But that's like a utopia. That's not how the world works.
I understand, Dill. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying what I wanted to see, what millions of other people wanted to see. That's all I'm saying.
But that's not how I get what you wanted and what other people wanted, but that's not like how life works. I feel like it just
100%, Dill. But if the flag is not thrown, Eagles
still lose the game because
because
look at this. There was earlier in the game where Butker hit the doink. So realistically, they were down. They could have been down 6.
Yeah. About Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts does a fumble. It gives away 7.
And what if the sky was green? You know, like we're all talking about hypotheticals now.
I understand that, Dill, but at the end of the game, it was a minute something left.
And he committed a foul and screwed his team. That's it. In
my opinion, it wasn't a foul.
It doesn't no disrespect, but it doesn't really matter what you or anybody says, just because you know why? Because he even admitted. I think that's what ruins the argument. He even admitted it. If he stood on his, I honestly would respect him even more if he didn't and be like, nah, I didn't foul him at all. He admitted it. You know, I think that throws everything out. He even said, hey, I fouled the guy. I gotta play better defense. So I don't think the game was ruined or spoiled by the one bad call. I think it was.
So it was a bittersweet ending for you?
No. Wow. Not at all. I thought it was an amazing game. I didn't let one factor ruin the whole 44 minutes of game time that I just saw, because that was spectacular football on both sides. And I didn't let one bad call ruin the whole Super Bowl for me. So, and it helped me. So I could care less. And they're scumbags, the Eagles and all their fans.
Terrible fans. Fans.
But I think, you know what's worse? The field. How bad was the field? Was this one of the worst fields you've seen? How many people changed cleats?
I don't understand. I seen something before the game that they prepped this grass for like 2-3 years. They spent $800,000.
Yeah, $800,000. So it's a retractable stadium floor, and they painted all of, like, you know how like the Super Bowl has all those colors, red and blue and whatnot. They painted that. They painted the center. They painted the end zones literally like 3-4 days before. And it was still slippery and still wet. And you saw in the opening kick, he slipped.
Yeah.
So people were, thank God no one was really hurt, but you saw
no injuries in the game too.
Thankfully. Yeah. Thankfully. So no, but everyone was complaining. You saw the crazy picture on the Eagles sideline where it was just, I don't know, it could have been 15, 16 pairs of sneakers or cleats, excuse me. People just changing cleats and, you know, better grip. And I guess they're scared for their ankles and mobility because they kept slipping. So I thought that was actually, that might have been the worst field I've ever seen on the Super Bowl. It might have been
definitely we seen though, but I promise it was definitely some shit shows back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
promise you.
And Eagles become the second team only to lose the Super Bowl while being up at halftime. You know who the
Atlanta.
number one team? There you go. Your team. You beat them. The Atlanta Falcons were the first team to lead at half and then wind up losing the Super Bowl. But overall, you know, I thought it was a great game, great season for us. I think it was a much better season record-wise, I think, for us. Patrick Mahomes, I want to touch on him real quick. 5 years in the league, 5-year starter, 5 straight championship games, 5 straight divisional titles, 5 straight 12-win seasons, 5 straight Pro Bowls, 3-time All-Pro, 1-time Offensive Player of the Year, 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 NFL MVPs. Elvis, am I crazy to say he could never play football again and he's a Hall of Famer today?
Yeah, I think he was a Hall of Famer 2 years ago, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I think he the numbers he put up, he already has, 2 or 3 5,000-yard passing seasons. There's only, I think, 6 or 7 all time. A Super Bowl MVP, a league MVP. Like, that's a Hall of Famer right there. There's so many that's in there that has less. And to me, in 4 years, he became a Hall of Famer, Dill. So the question is, I don't even think there is a question as he's a Hall of Famer already. The question is, how far can he go? Can he reach Brady? I think that's a little out there, but can he, could he go Montana? Can he go Elway? You know, it wouldn't shock me if Mahomes gets 4, possibly 5.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me. If he's been to 3 in 5 years, let's say he gets to another 2 in the next 5 years, he wins. I think he'll win another one, if not 2 in the next 5 to 7 years. So it wouldn't shock me Mahomes finishes with 4 or 5 in the next 10 years. Wouldn't shock me he gets 2 more in 10 years.
I think he wins at least 4 or 5. People are jumping the gun a little bit, saying he's the best. He's on the trend to be the best quarterback ever.
He is.
A little pushback though. It's Tom Brady.
But Tom Brady. This is why I agree with people are saying. I don't think he will get there, like I said, but Tom Brady's first 6, it is 6 seasons. He's just been starting for 5. Tom Brady's first 5 seasons starting wasn't like this still. Yeah, he has the Super Bowl titles, but he wasn't doing Patrick Mahomes was doing. Trajectory-wise, if Patty Mahomes plays as long as Tom Brady has, he's going to have more passing yards, more Super Bowls, more passing touchdowns, more completions, more everything. So trajectory-wise, he is on a better trajectory, but I don't think Patty Mahomes plays 23 seasons.
First, I was gonna push back. I don't think he plays as long as Brady won. I think he definitely passes him numbers wise, but I don't ever think maybe he gets 4 or 5, and that's an amazing accomplishment. It's amazing that he won 2.
Yeah.
Because everyone wins 1. Trent Dilfer wins 1. You got those quarterbacks that, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but there are quarterbacks who aren't the best that are able to win because of their great defense. But 2, you cement your legacy.
Yeah.
2 is like, okay, now you're a Super Bowl
You
winner.
in the conference, Eli, Peyton.
Yeah. And I think he has to play till he's 60 to get to Brady. Like maybe
the real question is, how long do Andy Reid have in the tank? Because how long do you see
I'm glad you brought that up. I see, and I hate. Is it time to get Terry Bradshaw the fuck out of there? I thought no, he was awful on the stage. He was disrespecting Andy Reid. Oh, big guy, wobble over here. I mean, okay. On stage in front of fucking 60, 70,000 people, like millions watching. That's kind of disrespectful. I don't care how close you are. Don't say come waddle. And then you have the audacity to ask, so you're hanging him up? Like, bro, I just got done winning the best game of my life. Like,
you know who is
mad.
You know who is hanging him up? Let's congratulate Chad Henne for going out on top. Dill, he's a winner. Soda 5 stud,
2-time champ,
2-time champ. One of the best divisional drives you ever seen.
You saw. I was just gonna mention that drive.
97 yards, marching right down the field. Dill,
touchdown.
What more could I say? What is it? Isn't he a Miami Dolphin legend? Can I at least say that? Nah,
I think he's gonna go into coaching. He's a brilliant mind.
Hey, I bet you he could probably get a job with the Kansas City or somebody,
or QB coach, because there are rumors, Eric Bieniemy's in high regards to become the OC at
I think
the Washington job.
real quick, I thought it was Baltimore. I thought he was gonna get the Baltimore job. But real quick, though, I think whatever Bieniemy, I think he has to take the job just because he will never get the credit behind Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid. Because everybody believe, and I also believe Andy Reid designs the plays. I just think Eric Bieniemy calls the plays.
Well, you gotta love Andy Reid because even when they asked him and tried to make it all about him, he said, "No, it's not about me. It's about Eric Bieniemy. It's about Patrick Mahomes in that offensive line."
I understand that, but when you have, a Hall of Famer like Travis Kelce say it's all about Big Red, it kind of throws your perspectives off. Because one, you got a coach saying it to support his colleague and get him, his friend, in a position, to get a job. And then you have a star player saying, no, it's all Big Red. So which one it really is? We won't know. We don't know. Only the people in that room know. But I'm confident enough to say he calls the plays, but we know Andy Reid draws up, especially those goal line plays, though. You saw how wide open it was. They even did a ring around the Rosie. Come on.
I know they did that. And that play you said, one was to the other side with Kadarius Toney, and one it was the same play. It was just on the opposite side.
And they're wide.
I'm glad you brought it up again.
My mom would have scored on the touchdown.
I'm glad you brought up. Shout out Kadarius Toney and shout out all the Giant fans who gave up and released him and said, you know what, this guy's always hurt.
Fourth round pick.
Because this man changed the game. That punt return, longest in Super Bowl history, mind you. And I'm glad they fed him and gave him that touchdown on that drive because he deserved it. He did all the work.
One of my game specials was because Super Bowl, the game specials. One of my specials was Kadarius Toney, longest reception of the game. I wish I would have just had longest play of the game because I know he was bound to do something.
Oh yeah, he's too electric, and and people are like, "Damn, why didn't they get it going in the first half?" They couldn't. Eagles just kept him on the sideline for the whole time.
Literally kept him cold on ice.
I'm happy for Juju as well. And they said, "Oh, you earned an extra $1 million from the win. You're going to be a free agent." He said, "If Pat Mahomes calls, I'm coming. I'll be back." I mean, who wouldn't? It's Patrick fucking Mahomes.
And he actually had a huge game. And
Great
surprising, you know who I didn't even hear from? Valdez Scantling. We saw the huge AFC Championship game he had. He was nowhere to be found, but hey, I guess they didn't need him.
No, they didn't need him. He had his game in the conference final or the conference championship.
Now everybody's healthy.
Now Juju has his game. And I don't we were texting through the game. It doesn't matter how much or how long you game plan or scheme to guard Travis Kelce, you just can't do it.
They actually did a great job in the second half, though.
They triple teamed him.
Yeah, I think he only had like 21 yards because he finished with 81. I think he had 60 in the first quarter.
He did go over for us, but and you know what it is? That connection between him, 8-15, man, that's something special. I think it's
that's another thing, Dill. How many more years does Travis have in him? He's getting up there.
5
at this level.
3.
I say 2. At this level,
you got to think of it like if he continues to play with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes
in 2 years, do you believe he's the best tight end in football in 2 years from now?
Yeah,
I don't know, Dill. I don't know.
Just because he has the people surrounding him, like. If he's in another system, I don't think Travis Kelce is as successful as he is. But since Andy Reid game plans, especially with Eric Bieniemy, two brilliant minds, they scheme up so many formations where it was the first play. Just think about the first play where everyone was lined up going to the right. Travis Kelce came out, released to the left, and he was wide open in the seam. They're just brilliant the way they game plan and they scheme these routes for Travis Kelce. He just gets open. I just think, and then one-on-one, he goes down. He doesn't take massive hits, Travis Kelce. Speaking of Kelce, I think his brother might hang him up. It was kind of sad to see, one brother obviously had to lose, but it was funny. They go and they hug. He says, fuck you, but congratulations,
No, I think Kelce goes 1 or 2 more years just because the core, man. Eagles, they're right there, though. They were right there. You could say this and that, but they were right there. It was a 3-point ball game. If Jalen Hurts doesn't fumble, hey, who knows what happens? But Eagles were right there. I don't think Jason Kelsey can hang on because let's be real, Dill.
I'm just saying that because there was a lot of speculation
Yeah.
after the game.
No, absolutely, and rightfully so, Dill. He's up there. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer already.
So I just feel like, that team. Let's real quick, Dill.
Yeah.
In the NFC, besides the 49ers, who's really stopping the Eagles? Off the top of your head, besides the 49ers, Green Bay, Tom Brady's gone.
Off the top of my head,
Cowboys are the Cowboys for real?
Yeah, that's the thing. So that was going to be my other team. Besides,
could you trust Kirk Cousins?
No, I can't. Besides the Eagles and the 49ers, because I do expect them to be back.
I got 49ers in the Super Bowl next year.
I don't want to say the Cowboys, but on paper,
don't do that to me, Dill. Out of all people, don't say on paper to me, please.
On paper, they might be the third.
No.
Here, I'll give you a dark horse. I'll give you a dark horse then. I won't say the Cowboys because they
you can say the Cowboys. Just don't say on paper.
Oh, but it's true because on paper they are kind of solid. They do need to upgrade in a few places, especially quarterback.
I agree with you, but every time I use that on you, you fucking tear me to shreds.
All right. I'll give you a long horse who I think we were talking about, and I think we gave them their roses this year. An incredible turnaround.
Detroit.
Dan Campbell and Detroit. Yes. I think, that division's up for grabs. Aaron Rodgers might not be there. Yeah. And you saw how competitive they were. I think they're a year or two away. I think they made a big jump last year. They won 4 or 5 games. They won 9 games this year. Hey, they could be a playoff team next year. That's not crazy. Jared Goff, I think, finally found a home. I think they need to upgrade a little on the offensive line and get some more weapons, especially on defense. But they cleaned some things up. They got a stud in Aiden Hutchinson. They got that. They got the wide receiver Williamson from Alabama as well. They only had him for half a year. They have 2 running backs. They have an offensive line. Exactly. I like where they're going. Don't kill me, but I like Detroit as a top 5 team maybe next year in the NFC, not overall.
I give them a chance in the division, especially if Aaron Rodgers is gone. Minnesota, they could probably be in there, but realistically, Dill, I got Eagles, I got 49ers representing the NFC early.
And I think that's because the NFC is not as loaded as the AFC, and I think it's clear those are the 2 best teams.
Quarterback wise, you could honestly say out of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, 7 are in the AFC.
Yeah, you got obviously Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen,
Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson,
Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson.
Nah, I don't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. But no, you're right. All the quarterbacks are in the AFC, and that's what worries me. That's what worries me if like a Derek Carr or an Aaron Rodgers wants to come to New York. Why would you? That just makes
I want to go to NFC.
100%. I would stay in the NFC. The path is easier for you. And let me put this out. Daniel Jones is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
I can't debate it right now. I got to see.
After the season he had, you can't.
I wouldn't put. Honestly, he's better than Kirk Cousins. Let's just be real.
He's better than the 49ers quarterbacks. He's not better than Jalen Hurts.
He's not better than Kyler Murray.
That's hard.
He's not better than Kyler Murray. He's not better than Kyler Murray, Dill.
He might not be, but they are very, very close, I would argue now.
He's not better than Dak. He's not better than Dak. He's not better than Dak.
I might have to draw the line there. Look how bad Dak was this season. And that's not just this season. It's been a trend. He hasn't gotten better. He's an average quarterback, and I think it's okay to admit that, Elvis. I know he plays.
He's not better. He's not better than Matt Stafford. And to be honest, I don't think he's better than Geno Smith. Geno Smith had a season now.
And Daniel Jones didn't? Look at the weapons he had. He had practice squad guys and made the playoffs in one of the hardest divisions.
I'll put. All right, I'll give you that one, Dill. But I'll put, and I think Jared Goff is better than him. Jared Goff had a season, Dill.
He
Jared Goff,
did.
he did have a season.
And maybe you could make that argument. He did make the Super Bowl. Granted, it was on a great team, but he got to a Super Bowl. I'll give you Jared Goff. I won't give you Geno Smith. I won't give you Geno Smith.
All right. So Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott,
and I can't give you Matt Stafford. I'm sorry.
Matt Stafford's better than Daniel Jones, though. Stop it. Let's move on. Stop it. We seen Matthew Stafford. We seen him in big situations. So we saw him in the biggest stage of them all.
You know what I have more problem with? That you put Matt Stafford over a guy like Kirk Cousins, who I think Kirk Cousins is better than. I think Kirk Cousins is better than Matthew Stafford.
All right. Real quick, Dill.
Yeah.
In a combine, Kirk Cousins is better than Matthew Stafford. But when it comes to winning a game, Matthew Stafford, who has more game-winning drives? Matthew Stafford. He played in Detroit for 12 years.
He got grit. I'll give him that. He's a tough motherfucker. I'll give him that.
Exactly. If I'm going to war, I'd rather have Matt Stafford than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is fine. If we're playing a 1:00 game in October, give me first Cousins.
Yeah.
But we're playing 4:05 in January. I'd rather have Matt Stafford. There's a lot of people I would like more than Matt Stafford. But if you give me Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, I'm going to take Matt.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC, I think it's clear. It's up to debate on who the best is. Right now, they already have next year's Super Bowl champion odds out. Obviously, Chiefs plus 600. Bills always getting love at top, plus 850.
For no reason.
I don't know. I think they have some serious problems they need to address, but we'll get into that soon. But Eagles 900, tied with the Bengals plus 900, also tied with the 49ers. I think 49ers get a little disrespected at plus 900 as well. Cowboys plus 1,500, Ravens plus 1,600. You got the Chargers, forgot their name for a second, plus 2,000. And then to round off the top 10, you have the Green Bay Packers at plus 2,500. But you never know what it's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. I think if Aaron Rodgers obviously leaves, that number has to go up.
To be honest, no.
Whatever you mean.
To be honest, no, Dill. I think those odds aren't with Jordan Love. To be
you've seen enough from Jordan Love, not them.
I didn't see nothing. All I'm saying is, Dill, I only could go by what we heard, and I heard the kid spins it pretty good. I'm not going to say he's Aaron Rodgers. All I'm going to say is the kid spins it pretty good. And we've seen him come in situations and do pretty good. Besides the Chiefs game, I think that moment was too big for him. But every other time he comes in, it's garbage time. He makes some throws, Dill. And he's mobile with the legs as well, Dill. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think he's a scrub either.
No, I don't think he's a scrub, but I just think we have to see a little more from him. Last person they told me who spins the ball well, has a great arm, Zach Wilson. Look how bad that turned out. So can't always just rely on the arm strength. You got to actually be able to read the defense. And that Chiefs game, like you mentioned, wasn't good.
Yeah.
But Elvis, overall, how did you do? Not for the whole year. I know we had a winning record for the year, but how did you do Super Bowl Sunday?
My actual plays and props went 4-2.
Okay.
So that was pretty good. And then all the game specials, I went bad. Honestly, I did pretty bad on the game specials. I think I went 3-5.
Okay.
But those are all game specials. The odds are, real juiced up or, real juiced down. But actual, real plays, props, and games, 4-2.
And I think on the show, we need to think of something. What my winnings are. I think the vibe started off high for me with the tails. Hey, after 2 years of losing, I told you.
You got it.
She flipped that coin aggressively, that girl.
I feel like she should have went higher though.
She just went like this. She went.
It's you gotta go at least 40 feet in the air, and that's a nice coin. I promise you that definitely got some whiff in it.
I'm telling you, my heart was bumped. I was like, please tails. Tails landed. But you know what was really weird? I thought the Gatorade color, purple.
I want to know who the fuck is drinking purple Gatorade.
That's a great question.
I'm gonna be honest, it was full. that one was full, so they just took the heaviest one. It was like, fuck
Yeah.
it. Every
Yeah,
other
they
one was
probably had
kind of.
that's the crazy part. We don't even know if they have like a few colors where, they probably drink yellow lime the most, but purple was filled up for the 5 offensive linemen that like purple. They're gonna dump the purple on Andy Reid. I thought that was odd, coming from like a red and yellow type of team. I thought purple was odd, but yeah, plus 800 if you did nail on purple. I did not. I hit I bet on blue and red, but yeah, we didn't get there with that. But Elvis, overall, great job this whole NFL season. We're about 5-6 months from camp, but XFL returning in 2 months. USFL, you gonna pay attention to any of these leagues leading up to another season in the NFL?
This year I'm gonna definitely try to get into XFL, Dill, just because it's a long way to football season. First of all, Dill, and I think us as the people, we gotta support a new franchise. A new starting football league, Dill. I think we gotta support. We always get this that. If we watch, we might enjoy it, Dill. So let's watch some of these games, and hey, might be some good football we see.
Yeah, in the USFL in our hometown, Jersey, we got the Jersey Generals. We have to support them. I might become a fan. I heard they're awful, but
hey, you're a Jets fan, Dill. You're used to it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. NBA.
Yeah, no. Before we get to that, Jesus Christ.
I apologize.
You couldn't let one episode go without throwing a joke.
All right. You said Zach Wilson was a top 5.
I already made a joke about my own team. Come on. Oh man, before we get to the NBA, let me tell you guys about our sponsor, Viva Tequila. We're sponsored today by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry after a Saturday morning workout. Our flavors pair perfectly with that artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle but refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. Elvis, over under 5.5 Vivas for me, Super Bowl Sunday. Are you taking the over or under? Minus 110 both ways.
Minus 110 both ways. I'm going to go under. I think you stopped at 4.
Yo, you knew I had 4 on the dot.
Dale, because you're not a heavy drinker.
No, I'm not.
And at the end of the day, Vivas get you right now. You don't need to get
They're dangerous.
Yeah, so, you drink 2 or 3 of them things,
I was feeling good. Plus, I was too anxious. I had to keep my full attraction on. But yeah, you're right. You should have hit the under on that. I was going to say 4.5 and by the hook. But yeah, I got a full under on that. Elvis, a few games on tonight's NBA slate. Games have started already. Any games that started you want to give out that you maybe have a live bet on or anything?
Everything that I took, you could honestly bet on right now and still get plus money. I took the Nets money line at plus 120. We're down 4 right now because you're New York Knicks. So I guarantee they're plus money right now. Then I took Denver.
Yeah, it's plus 164.
And then I took Denver on the money line, plus 100, even money. Yep. They're down 2 right now, so I'm not sure if they favored or not live. But
they are plus 2, plus 118 on the money line.
Exactly, people. Come on now, tune in. I took Orlando plus 5. I'm pretty sure they might still be plus 4 live right now. They're up 3 in the first quarter. And then I took the over for the New Orleans and OKC. 2 young teams. OKC's just going to go up and down the court. I think this game will go over, Dill. And I think
what number did you get?
236.5. What is it now?
The live line is at 236 even.
I'm panicking.
Yeah.
And then my last play of the night will be the Lakers money line at plus 120. Hopefully
is LeBron playing?
I don't think so, Dill. LeBron's still out with that injury, Dill. But I like this new team, though. I like the lineup. Yeah. Anthony Davis. As long as Anthony Davis is on the floor, I still like him. The Lakers against I want to say a lot of teams, but a lot of teams in the West, let's just say. So give me the Lakers against Portland tonight at plus 120.
Yeah, I mean they had a nice win the other night against Golden State. Remember on the pod, I was like, oh, I'll probably take Golden State. I think they're a better team without LeBron. LeBron was a late scratch again. They went outright on the road as plus 5.5 dogs. Yeah, LeBron is out. So is Jeremy Grant for Portland. Those are the only injuries that people will be out. But yeah, I do like the Lakers again. Plus 2.5. I think they're better than Portland, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like them more than Portland. As for tomorrow, for college, there was only 20 games in college tonight. Right now, I am on Miami. Miami, the Hurricanes. They are taking on North Carolina Tar Heels. I took Miami plus 4.5. They're up 12. They're -8 right now. So I would pump the brakes. So I got a very good number, but it is halftime. So we'll talk about that in a little. For tomorrow, few games, Tuesday slates. It's like TNT Tuesday. There's always like 4 or 5 games on tomorrow's slate. Any opinion or any leans for tomorrow?
Yeah, they got a few plays. I got Orlando Magic +6 on the road against Toronto Raptors. Then I got the Kings +3 on the road against the Suns. I expect that to be a close game. They're still working their way, with the new lineup. You lose Markel Bridges and Cam Johnson. That's a big hit. I understand they just signed Terrence Ross. Not sure if he's going to be on the lineup tomorrow. We'll see about that deal. But I don't think this team is going to be right till Kevin Durant is on that roster deal, because Sacramento's a good team. The fact that they're +3, I'm kind of surprised at that. So I'm going to take the 3 in my pocket all day. And then I lean the Clippers tomorrow against Golden State at home. I'm not sure what the spread going to be. I'm going to guess Clippers -4. If it's around there, I'll take the Clippers. And then Boston Bucks, that's going to be a huge game. I'm trying to find it now. Don't see it, but take Pritchard. Made threes over. That guy's on fire. He's been hitting threes like no other.
And apparently he was surprised that he didn't get traded during the deadline. He wants more game time. He is a good player, but
Yeah.
Boston is so loaded he could barely get on the floor, which is a problem for him. But what do you make of Mikal Bridges' new nickname on Brooklyn? And two,
what is it? I don't know it.
You don't Brooklyn Bridges, they call him. They call him Brooklyn Bridges. It's like the Brooklyn Bridge. It's corny, but
it is kind of corny.
He loves it. He said, they go, what do you think of your new nickname? He goes, Brooklyn Bridges. I kind of dig it. It was on SNY, one of the New York stations. I just thought it was funny, but he has to be your best player on the court, right?
Him and Spencer for sure, Dill. And I think the potential for Cam Thomas is there too. Dill.
Oh yeah. What happened with him? Why was he found? We won't get into the antics of what he said, but like, did he say something wrong?
Yeah, I'm gonna say what he said. Dude. I don't think he said anything wrong, but he said no, and that's what he got fined for. He said,
okay.
He said, the reporter asked, "Hey, kid, how you like your new teammates? Or were you worried about them joining?" He's like, "Nah." He said, Spencer Dinwiddie's a good-looking guy. No. And that's So that's what he said. He just said Spencer Dinwiddie's a good-looking dude. No.
It's just stupid that people are getting fined for stupid shit. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
50 bands too.
I was like, he's getting fined for balling. It was kind of crazy. And you mentioned the Suns and you kind of fading them tomorrow. Jay Crowder, he came out on an interview and he said, he was just asked about how his time in the Suns were. They had a really good team. They had a good run. Like, what happened? And this is what he said. I just feel like it's behind me now. I don't really want to talk it. We had some stuff happen internally that they asked me to keep inside. So out of respect to them, I'm going to grant their wishes and not say it. So I think we're all right when we say not everything's as positive and bright as it seems for the Suns. It sure as hell looks like DeAndre Ayton doesn't want to be there. Now you get a guy like Kevin Durant who demands a lot. You kind of blend him with Ayton, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, who is very emotional as well. How do you think that's going to deal? And do you think Jay Crowder's right?
I think Jay Crowder's right, just because we've seen in the playoff game 7 last year, Monty Williams and Ayton go at it. Not physically, but verbally, a confrontational. Words were exchanged there. It looked heated. You could tell, it was something going on there. And we saw the battle with the contract situation. Yeah. They had a match an offer sheet from Indiana. So Ayton probably feels like, hey, y'all didn't want me anyway. Y'all didn't even give me a max. Y'all just match an offer sheet from the Indiana. So do y'all really appreciate what I've been doing for this franchise?
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, and then with KD deal, I don't think KD demands anything. I don't think he needs the ball deal. I think he's just good. Wants to go out there, hoop. I think if KD just gets up 15, 20 shots a game, he's happy because he's one of the most efficient players of all time. We saw him in Golden State deal. He didn't need the ball. He was just going out there, getting him open, take a dribble or two, and shoot right over you, deal. So I think Chris Paul is the leader of the team. Devin Booker is the co-star, and then KD is your superstar, and then Ayton is your support.
Do you ever think how good Kevin Durant had it in Golden State? Do you ever think he thinks back and like, damn, I thought it was going to turn out different in Brooklyn with my boy. Now I'm in Phoenix. Do you ever think like, damn, maybe I should have just stayed? Do you think he ever thinks that or no?
Absolutely. Don't think about it. I think he was doing 3 seasons. You went back-to-back finals MVP. And then let's just be real. In my, humble opinion, KD doesn't get hurt against the Raptors. I think Golden State's winning that series.
Yep.
Let's just be real. We saw him for about a quarter and a half take over the game. Golden State was up. KD goes down, and then Klay Thompson goes down.
It's over.
It's hard to overcome. Steph Curry did have some, shot attempts to extend the lead, but wasn't able to sink them in. But
it's hard to overcome. What is it? 40, 50 points maybe on any given night between the two. So you know what I mean? And they just don't have the offensive production. But I agree. I think sometimes maybe not working out, coming up short, all the drama that happened in Brooklyn with James Harden, Kyrie, the coach, Steve Nash, wanting a trade, not wanting a trade. I just think sometimes maybe just like, hey, like I should have just maybe stayed. I probably would have had another ring. Like maybe could have won another finals MVP. But, it's like our moms say, you made your bed. Now you got to lay in this. So, he's a big boy. I think he knows the consequences, but I think he's in a good spot now. Hopefully he stays. Same thing with Kyrie, man. They're top 10, top 5 players in the league. I want them to because I want them to do well because when they do well, the league does well, So the Suns, I hope they do well. And I'm glad that Kyrie came out today. A lot of people were questioning him regarding like his long-term future with the Mavericks. And he said he doesn't want to do any distractions, any negotiating, talking. I just want to finish the year. And then when the year's done, we'll come and talk about contracts. I don't want to be that distraction. And
he's going to the Lakers. You heard it here first. You heard it here first on the Dream Ranger from Elvis. Kyrie Irving will sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to give y'all a date. I'm going to say July 8th.
Oh, I thought you were going to say July 18th, Dylan's birthday. Hey, that'd be nice. I might go.
You're not a Lakers fan?
I like to see him and LeBron again. I'd love to see that.
I personally would like to see it as well.
I'm a basketball fan first. Obviously, I'm a Knicks fan with Jalen Brunson. I'm petitioning. He should be an all-star. But he
might get in. Still a few days away. We see a lot of subs. Hey.
Disrespectful. Zion getting in and him not even being a reserve? Come on. The voting needs to change. Something needs to happen. But now I'm going on a tangent. But Elvis, any last words before we get up out of here?
Nah, that's a deal. What a great season. What a great NFL season.
Yes.
Bittersweet that we saw such an amazing game, and now we got to wait, 6-7 months for not even a game as good as we saw.
No, but like Elvis said, we're going to get into USFL, maybe the XFL a little bit. NBA, we got 26, 25 more games left until the playoffs. Got NHL, baseball, World Classic is next month. So we'll keep busy. We got a ton of plays in other sports. We'll keep you occupied. And then once the summer comes around, hey, we're locked and loaded. We're previewing divisions. And then once you know it, preseason's coming along. So we'll be right there in the thick of things, but it was an amazing season. Bittersweet that it isn't, and I'm actually kind of sad that there won't be any more football on Sundays, but got to figure out what I'm going to do on my Sundays now. It was just strictly ball for 6 months, which I loved, but Elvis, it was a great episode, and that's going to do it for this Monday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsors, Prize Picks, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys in a few days. We'll have more picks for this weekend, more hot takes, so please follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Really helps the show grow. If you could, be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.